Have you ever stopped to think just how, well, enormous the digital marketplace has become and how fast it's still growing? It really feels like every day there's a new online shop, another way to just click and buy. So today's deep dive, we're unlocking the global e-commerce platform market. Our mission really is to give you a shortcut to being properly well-informed about where online commerce is headed. We're pulling out the key nuggets of knowledge, the important insights from the latest data, and we're not just looking at charts. We want to understand the fundamental shifts driving this huge transformation.
And when we say growth, honestly, it's something monumental. It's genuinely reshaping how businesses work, how people shop, everywhere. Think about it. The global e-commerce platform market, it was already huge, over $6.6 billion back in 2021.
Right, already substantial.
Exactly. But get this, it's on track to nearly double. We're talking almost $13 billion by 2025.
Double in just 4 years.
Yeah. And then
Nut.
it could skyrocket to almost $50 billion by 2033.
Wow. Okay, that's
About-
staggering.
It's an incredible, eightfold expansion in just over a decade. And it's driven by a really robust compound annual growth rate, the CAGR,
Yep.
of 18.29%. So what that means for you listening is, well, sustained, consistent growth year after year. It signals a deep, steady digital shift, not just some quick boom. This isn't just about big numbers. It's really about that fundamental change in how business gets done, transforming economies globally, from the ground up.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this then. That kind of explosive growth, it can't be perfectly uniform, can it? Where exactly are the sort of epicenters of this digital surge? What does it actually look like on the ground? Let's maybe go region by region.
Yeah.
We can chart the frontiers, look at the unique stories, the drivers behind it all in different parts of the world.
Absolutely. Good plan. Let's start with, where a lot of this innovation really took hold early on. North America, this market isn't just big, it's still expanding incredibly rapidly. We're looking at a jump from around $2.4 billion in 2021
Okay.
to a projected $16.8 billion by 2033.
$16.8 billion. That's huge.
Yeah, it's massive, nearly a seven-fold expansion, and it's maintaining a strong annual growth rate, just under 18%. The United States, well, as you'd probably expect, it's leading the charge, projected to hit over $13 billion itself by 2033.
$13 billion in the U.S. alone.
Right. But Canada is also really interesting, with the FANGR close to 18.5%, and Mexico, too, both showing significant acceleration. It's often down to, mature digital infrastructure and consumers who are getting increasingly sophisticated online.
That's incredible pace still in North America. So how does Europe compare? You've got all these diverse economies, different levels of digital maturity. Maybe is it the same kind of widespread adoption, or are certain countries, maybe certain subregions, driving more of the growth? Are there different factors at play?
Europe is definitely keeping pace. It's actually showing remarkable consistency across the board. Its market was around $1.55 billion in 2021. That's set to hit over $11 billion by 2033.
$11 billion. Also very strong.
Very strong, growing at a solid 17.83% CAGR. Now, Germany is a bit of a standout, leading in growth with an 18.65% CAGR, projected over $2.2 billion by 2033.
Okay, Germany leading there.
Yeah, but what's really notable is that countries like the UK, France, Italy, Spain, even Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, they're all showing CGRs between, say, 17% and over 18%.
So it's really broad-based.
Exactly. It's not just a few hotspots. It feels like a truly uniform digital transition across the continent. It suggests a deep systemic shift in how European businesses are tackling online commerce, often helped by, sophisticated logistics and easier cross-border trade online.
That uniformity is really interesting, a continent-wide shift. Okay, let's shift our focus eastward. Asia-Pacific. It's long been seen as, a hub of digital innovation. Beyond just the big numbers, what makes this region such a dynamic force? Especially, you mentioned India earlier. What's happening there?
Yeah, Asia-Pacific, it's not just digitizing rapidly, it's in a phase of powerful acceleration. The projection is for growth at an astonishing 19.30% CAGR.
19% plus.
Yeah. Surging from just under $1.7 billion in 2021 to nearly $14 billion by 2033. China, naturally, continues to dominate, expected to reach over $4.3 billion by 2033. But, as you said, the real headline here, I think, is India.
Okay.
An absolutely astonishing 20.15% CAGR. It's set to grow from around $267 million to over $2.4 billion by 2033.
20% growth year on year. Incredible.
It really is, and it's a prime example of that sort of leapfrog phenomenon you sometimes see. It's fueled by massive mobile-first internet use, plus transformative things like the UPI payments system.
Right, the digital payments network.
Exactly. It's digitized payments for millions, maybe hundreds of millions. And that just dramatically lowers the barrier for people to start selling online, even
Yeah.
tiny merchants. It's fundamentally reshaping daily economic life across the subcontinent.
Yeah, makes sense. Lowering barriers is key.
Totally. And we shouldn't forget Singapore either, shining with a 19.66% CAGR. And Southeast Asia as a whole region is showing nearly 20% CAGR too. So huge momentum across APAC.
Wow, India's rate is just incredible. When you hear numbers like 20%, it's hard not to picture the impact on daily life for consumers, for businesses. Okay, let's shift gears again. South America. Are we seeing that same kind of dramatic doubling or more of the market size that we're seeing elsewhere? Or are there sort of unique factors shaping its digital path?
Oh, it absolutely is experiencing that doubling and more. And it's a fascinating story of, emerging markets really embracing digital. South America's market is projected to grow from about $430 million in 2021 to over $3.3 billion by 2033. So again, maintaining a strong 18.61% CAGR.
Still over 18%, consistently high growth.
Consistently high. Brazil leads the region, projected to reach over $1.3 billion by 2033. But Argentina and Chile are also growing very impressively, both over 19% CAGR.
19% in Argentina and Chile. What's driving that?
Often it's, well, increasing smartphone penetration combined with a growing middle class that's really eager for the convenience of online shopping. And Colombia and Peru are contributing significantly too. It really signals a region-wide move towards digital commerce.
Okay, that's great to see. And how about the Middle East and Africa? These are regions often talked about as having immense untapped potential. Are they genuinely catching up to this global digital wave? What specific drivers are pushing things forward there?
They certainly are scaling rapidly, showing really remarkable progress, actually. The Middle East e-commerce platform market, it's projected to grow from just over $400 million in 2021
Okay.
to nearly $3.1 billion by 2033. That's an 18.46% CAGR. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are posting particularly strong numbers here.
What's behind that in the Middle East?
Often it's propelled by, well, ambitious government digital transformation agendas, plus they have a very young tech-savvy population. Qatar, Turkey, Egypt are also showing pretty consistent growth trajectories. And then Africa, it's catching up fast, rising from around $178 million in 2021 to over $1.3 billion by 2033. Still a robust CAGR, 17.69%.
So catching up, but still very strong growth.
Exactly. South Africa is a key player there, projected to reach over $623 million by 2033. Nigeria is also maintaining steady digital adoption. What's really compelling in many parts of Africa is the potential for mobile-first commerce, sometimes bypassing the need for extensive traditional infrastructure. That can allow for incredibly rapid scaling when the conditions are right.
Right, another kind of leapfrog potential there, maybe. Okay, so we've just kind of toured the globe and unpacked this incredible, really widespread growth of the global e-commerce platform market. From North America to Africa, the numbers seem pretty clear. This isn't just, one or two regions booming. It feels like a truly uniform digital transition happening across continents.
Yeah.
And it's all contributing to that impressive overall CAGR you mentioned, 18.29%. I mean, if you sit back and think about that, it's not just a statistic, is it? It's more like a blueprint for the global economy's future.
Exactly right. And if we sort of tie this all together, connect it to the bigger picture, it's clear how these diverse regions are all contributing significantly. You have North America's continued leadership, right? The U.S. heading towards over $13 billion by 2033. Then Europe's really consistent continent-wide growth. Asia-Pacific's powerful 19.30% CAGR, especially with India striking 20.15% rate, driven by those unique leapfrog developments we talked about.
Yeah.
South America's market more than doubling, the rapid scaling we're seeing in the Middle East. And Africa catching up fast. South Africa projected over $600 million by 2033. These numbers, they really reflect profound shifts, changes in how consumers behave, changes in business strategy happening worldwide. And what's fascinating here, I think, is that whether you listening are, say, a business leader planning for the next decade, or maybe a tech innovator looking for the next big wave, or even just someone curious about how the world's changing.
Which is probably a lot of our listeners.
Right.
These figures really do provide a clear roadmap for where the digital economy is heading. It's about understanding not just, the size of the pie, but how every single slice is growing and what that means for your particular piece of it.
So, okay, the big picture question then. What does all this actually mean for the future? Considering these consistently high growth rates, but pretty much everywhere we looked, It raises an important question, doesn't it? Like, what further innovations, what new integrations are we going to see as the world really fully embraces this digital marketplace? And how will it reshape our daily lives, even beyond just commerce? Will we see entirely new forms of digital interaction pop up? Or maybe some kind of blend of the physical and digital worlds that we can barely even imagine today? Something to definitely think about maybe next time you're clicking buy now.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a closer look, really getting into the weeds of the e-commerce platform market. It's incredibly dynamic, constantly evolving. These platforms, they're basically the digital backbone for, well, pretty much everything now. Retail, services, even B2B transactions. They're really reshaping global commerce as we speak. So our mission today is to pull out the key insights from all the material we've gathered. We want to explore what's driving the growth, what challenges are cropping up, and the trends that are really transforming things. Think of this as your shortcut to getting up to speed on a super important topic. And we'll unpack some maybe surprising facts and interesting shifts along the way.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Yeah.
What's really fueling this massive growth in e-commerce platforms? What's underneath it all?
That's the core question, isn't it? And yeah, rapid digitalization, more smartphones, those are foundational, definitely. Yeah. But the real story is how user expectations have just exploded. It's not just about convenience anymore. It's this demand for instant gratification, super personalized experiences.
Right. And having payments just seamlessly built in, it forces these platform providers to innovate constantly, almost at warp speed.
Warp speed, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they don't keep up.
They get left behind. And what's fascinating, though, is mobile conversion rates. They still lag quite a bit behind desktop.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with everyone on their phones?
Yeah. It highlights this huge opportunity, this gap that platforms are scrambling to close by optimizing for truly frictionless, truly mobile-first experiences.
That mobile-first experience sounds absolutely critical then. But it's not just the device, is it? Are there other big shifts in how people are interacting? Is it just online sales, or is there something broader going on?
Oh, absolutely broader. Another huge driver is the rise of omnichannel retailing. It's moved way beyond just selling online. Retailers now, their goal is delivering a consistent, seamless experience across every channel.
So connecting the dots between, say, their website, their physical store, the app.
Exactly. Online stores, brick and mortar, mobile apps, even social media platforms, they want it all unified. And the compelling part is how the leading e-commerce platforms are enabling this. They give businesses the tools to sync up inventory, branding, customer engagement.
So it feels like one cohesive brand everywhere.
Precisely. Which makes these platforms indispensable, especially for bigger enterprise sellers and even mid-sized ones who need that complete picture. It's about meeting the customer wherever they are, however they prefer to shop.
Okay, that makes sense. And then you mentioned innovation. AI and analytics seem to be everywhere.
Yeah.
How is that playing into this e-commerce world?
Oh, AI and analytics have genuinely changed the game here. You see it everywhere. Think about AI-powered product recommendations. Sometimes they feel like they're reading your mind. Right?
Definitely. A little creepy sometimes, but useful.
Uh-huh. And dynamic pricing that adjusts based on demand, chatbots offering instant help. It all reduces friction for the customer. And crucially, these things improve conversion rates. But looking bigger picture, predictive analytics. That helps businesses anticipate what customers might need next.
So they can optimize inventory maybe.
Yeah.
Make smarter decisions.
Exactly. Optimize inventory, cut down on waste, make really data-driven decisions. So platforms that have these smart technologies baked in, they're becoming vital for brands just trying to stay competitive. Because it is, let's face it, a hyper-competitive space already. Every little edge counts.
Yeah, absolutely. Indispensable tech, it sounds like. But, it can't all be smooth sailing, can it? Even with all this cool tech.
No, definitely not.
What are some of the roadblocks? What challenges are these platforms really grappling with?
Well, security concerns and data breaches, for one, that remains a huge hurdle. You've got increasing cyber attacks, phishing scams, payment fraud. It's constant. So platforms have to pour substantial ongoing investment into cybersecurity and staying compliant.
Which must cost a fortune.
It does. I mean, the average cost of a data breach can run into millions. And that's not just fines. It's the hit to their reputation, losing customer trust. It's a massive, non-negotiable investment burden.
Yeah, as a consumer, you hear about breaches, and it definitely makes you pause, doesn't it? Makes you think twice about where you put your card details. That trust is everything.
It really is.
And for the smaller platforms trying to compete, that cybersecurity costs must be incredibly tough to manage.
Absolutely. And then adding to the pressure, there's the issue of market saturation and just fierce competition. The e-commerce platform space is just, well, it's flooded. You have the big established giants, Shopify, Adobe Commerce, Big Commerce, plus a constant stream of new players trying to carve out a niche.
So it's hard to stand out.
Extremely hard, which leads to difficulty differentiating. You see price wars happening, and customer switching platforms is always a risk. It's a relentless battle just to get noticed and keep users.
It really sounds like a crowded field.
Hmm.
How are platforms managing to differentiate then beyond just cutting prices? It seems incredibly difficult.
It is incredibly difficult, and adding another layer of complexity on top of that, you often run into integration and scalability issues, especially as businesses grow. Trying to integrate an e-commerce platform with all the other systems a business uses, like their ERP for operations, CRM for sales, logistics software, payment gateways, it can be a real headache.
Right, getting everything to talk to each other smoothly.
Exactly. And these problems often pop up when the older back-end systems just don't have the modern APIs or the flexibility needed. It creates significant roadblocks.
And the practical impact of that, I imagine it means projects take longer to roll out.
Definitely. Extended deployment timelines, frustrating tech bottlenecks,
More costs.
and yeah, ultimately an inflated total cost of ownership, which, no business wants on their books.
Okay, so we've covered the hurdles, security nightmares, the crowded market, integration headaches. But let's shift gears and look forward. Where's the excitement? What are those really interesting trends reshaping the future here?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. One fascinating trend is the rise of social commerce. E-commerce platforms are integrating seamlessly with social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it.
So more than just running ads on those
Oh
platforms.
yeah, way more. It's about enabling features within the social feed itself. Things like shoppable posts where you can buy directly, live stream shopping events.
Like QVC, but on Instagram.
Kind of, yeah. And influencer-powered campaigns where the influencer can sell directly. It creates this much richer, more interactive experience. Discovery and purchase happen the exact same place.
So you're scrolling, you see something you like, tap, buy, done.
Pretty much. It removes so many steps. That's the power of it.
Okay, that's definitely a big shift. Now, I've also heard buzz about businesses moving towards more modular systems, where the front end, like the website, is separate from the back end. What's that about?
You're talking about headless and composable commerce, and yes, that's gaining serious momentum, particularly for larger companies. Think of it like building with high-tech Lego bricks instead of building a whole house from scratch. You can swap out pieces, your storefront, your payment system without messing up the core foundation.
Okay, so more flexibility.
Huge flexibility. The big benefits are much better customization, you can deploy new features way faster, and integrating across different channels becomes effortless, all while keeping that stable backend running smoothly.
Makes sense.
So for companies scaling fast, companies really focused on customer experience who need that agility. It's becoming the ideal strategy. It lets them adapt really quickly to whatever the market throws at them.
Adapting quickly seems key. And speaking of adapting, consumers today seem much more aware of, well, environmental impact and sustainability. How are platforms responding to that?
That's another major trend, this growing emphasis on sustainability-driven commerce. And platforms are definitely stepping up. They're starting to offer eco-friendly features right within the platform, which is smart.
Like what kind of features?
Things like carbon footprint calculators for shipping options, filters so you can easily find sustainable products or brands, even built-in support for using recycled packaging.
So making it easier for both the business and the shopper to be greener.
Exactly. And platforms that help businesses align with ESG goals, environmental, social, governance, they're really finding favor. Both brands and buyers are drawn to them. It's becoming a real differentiator, impacting loyalty and buying decisions.
So bringing this all together then, after this deep dive,
Yeah.
where does this leave the commerce platform market? What's the big picture?
Well, it's clear it's sitting right at this fascinating intersection, isn't it? You've got accelerating technology, constantly shifting consumer behavior, and just relentless innovation all colliding.
A very dynamic spot to be in.
Absolutely. And look, while challenges like security and that intense competition aren't going away, the sheer speed of digital transformation, plus the smart use of AI, the boom in social commerce, this rising tide of sustainability, it all ensures the future is just packed with opportunity and constant evolution for this market. It really is a fascinating space to keep watching.
It really is, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is the next big thing going to be in how we shop online? And maybe, thinking about all these trends we discussed, how might they start influencing your own choices when you shop next?
Mhm.
Something to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.